Welcome to the Grove, everybody. Tonight's discussion will be magical sticks, wands, and stabs, and all the things you can do with them and where to find them, and a lot of the correspondences that go along with the different types of wood that make up these magical tools. I'll start off with when you go out into nature to find these things, you want to look for either just deadfall or things that are ethically harvested. There are a lot of farmers out there who will cut off the dead branches of trees in springtime and fall pruning, and that's where you want to get it from. You don't ever want to go out and just lop a branch off a tree because you want that branch. If the tree hasn't given it to you yet, it's not time for that one to be harvested. So just keep that in mind. Don't cut anything green. There's plenty of stuff on the ground that you could use to do this. One of my favorite ones, and I've got one here somewhere made out of it, is bald. Actually, I don't. That's out in the shed. I'll have to find that later. Bald cypress. We've got a couple of the trees growing on the side of the house. We started off with three, but one of them sadly didn't make it. And I have its entire root ball somewhere. Once again, it's been hectic. So, but the bald cypress, it's a tree of transition and resilience. And what's fascinating about it is it can live in either super dry or super wet climates. It really loves to be in that transitional median space between wet and dry. A lot of water, you'll see the knees come up. And you can even make wands out of that, but make sure that they're driftwood. You can't cut them. Once again, wait for the tree to give it to you. Don't just take it. It bridges the gap between the earthly and the spiritual realms. It does a really interesting thing. And I think this is where, from some of the research I did, this is where the idea of it being that link, the bridge between the earthly and the spiritual, is at 2 times of the year, it completely looks like it totally died. Like all the leaves fall off, the outer branches totally desiccate, dry out, and start to snap out. It's also the same time of year that it starts to generate its seed pods. So when it comes back and greens out, the seed pods burst. So that's a really cool thing about that plant. Let's see. It represents earth and water. It's good for magic associated with transition and release. And of course, its elements are the earth and the water. And moving on from there, we go into pine, which I do have an example of. That's right here. I carved that while we were sitting at FPG one time. And now I have a friend of mine who has requested me to make one, but I'm going to show her how to do it herself. That's always the best thing. You want your own magic to get into your wands, so you want to carve them up yourself. Pine is really good for grounding. It's a very potent purification tool. They're powerful for breaking hexes and for psychic protection. So you can kind of point your wand at your own head and kind of stop anything that's psychically attacking them. Go around your house with it and push any hex away. It just breaks them, just shatters them completely. They're good for gathering in abundance also. Because like as you're pushing out the negative, you want to fill that void with something. So it'll actually draw in abundance as it's pushing the hex away. So pine is really good. Its elements are air and fire. There's a lot of deities associated with pine. Osiris, Diana, Pan, Bacchus, Artemis. I would imagine her arrows and bow, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So that's just a me thing. Walking through a pine grove to collect your tools to find deadfall branches and stuff. It can lead to, strangely enough, the scent of pine clears your mind. It actually removes any emotional fog or anything that you're stuck constantly dwelling on. Something about a pine cosp, it just draws that out of you, makes it move away. It helps to remove guilt about something. It's almost like you're telling the trees, I don't need this with me anymore. And they say, okay, we got it. And they ground it out. It's gone. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Um, and it's also really good for improving your resilience. It kind of breaks down the barriers of going through a serious transition. It makes you not fear what's next. So that's a great thing about pine, and the wands that are made out of it are all about that. It's about getting rid of the negative and bringing in the abundance. Okay, next one. Um, Another really good one for that is ash. A lot of wands are made out of ash because the deadfall from ash trees tends to hold up really well. It's a very strong, very flexible wood. It's great for using wands and protection spells. Um, it's totally sacred to Poseidon and Woden. Um, and the ash is considered to be the father of all trees. The myth of Woden hanging himself on the tree to gain the knowledge. That was the ash tree. Uh, Special guardian spirits reside in the ash. So if you make a wood or a staff out of it, just know that you're going to have a guardian coming with you. There will be a spirit that will attach to it and will follow you. It will be benevolent. You can call on it, but don't put all of your trust in that. You still have to maintain yourself. And then the spiral carves. Did you bring the drumstick thing
No,
with
I
you?
did not.
Okay, that's fine.
They're buried.
Yeah. Well, I have a wand that I did carve a spiral on, and that is druidical, and it's made for a specific purpose of drawing in and concentrating positive energy. And you can use ash to focus yourself and give a strength of purpose. So it's really about taking your intention to a whole other level with ash. It's a direct conduit straight into the energy. Um, it also has a lot of karmic power. Uh, it's good for healing and protection from drowning. Ash is very buoyant. I think that's where that protection from drowning comes from. It floats really good. Um, Birch trees. That's another wonderful one. It's associated with Thor, the god of thunder. Uh, it's his role as an agricultural fertility deity that connection is made. They're the first trees to come back after something happens. They're very, very powerful in purification rites. Um, the elder tree, which is thought it was part of the birch family. It's the earliest of the forest trees. It is used extensively in cleansing rituals. If you want something gone out from you, birch is another very powerful tool to use. It's birch rods, bundles of them clustered together are used to drive out the spirits of the old year and welcome in the new. Kind of a theme with a lot of these that they can banish as well as bring in. That's a great thing about a lot of these woods. And the tools are mainly for focusing that. That's what we're talking about here, the wands. Their birch has also been long associated with fertility and healing magics. They used to use the twigs to bestow fertility on cattle and newlyweds. And the children's cradles were made from the birch. It's very high level of protection, protect the youth. It has a lot of connection to the lunar influences, and it's really good for birth, healing, protection. Anything you want to work with the moon, birch works well. And healing spells are also good with birch. Coconut, now this surprised me, is feminine and very fertile. The shell represents the womb and the milk is a fertility. Or if you like Monty Python, you can play as a horse with them. That's a little joke. Its protection, it because of the nature of the shell and the way that you use it, it's protection against psychic forces. If someone's psychically sending negative towards you, coconut shell will deflect it. That's true. Okay. Yeah. Elder, I mentioned that before in the birch thing. Elder is a wood sacred to the Fae. If you ever come upon an elder tree in the woods, don't touch it. You really have to approach it with respect to pick up any branches that have fallen off the tree. It's a give and take. You offer a gift and then you take the branch. It's not just pick it up and run, because things will follow you that you don't want following you. It's a waterside tree. It likes to grow around lakes, big water bodies. It has little white flowers that pop out in midsummer, and that's also true for the rowan tree. I think they're all in the same family, elder, birch, and rowan. Makes the elder an aspect of the white goddess. Also said to be the crucifixion tree. And the inner bark and the flowers have long been famous for their therapeutic qualities. In Norse mythology, Freya chose a black elder as her home. And in the medieval times, before the Renaissance, it was the abode of witches. So elders are awesome trees, and they get big. And it was considered dangerous to sleep under its branches or to cut it down. That's what I was talking about. Don't just take something from an elder tree. It will cause a lot of problems for you. The branches from the elder were used as magical horses by witches. So a lot of brooms were made out of the elder sticks. And it's also a beginning and an ending. It heralds death and life in the same wand. You can have both powers. A lot of its magical aspects are enhancing witchcraft, banishing, and doing a lot of magical artwork with it too. And then that moves on into the hawthorn. Another favorite of the fairies and the maiden goddesses. The white thorn or hawthorn or May witch takes its name from the May. It is a generally unlucky tree, and its name translated from Irish means harm. The goddess under the name Cardea usually casts spells with the hawthorn wand. And in many cultures, the month of May is a month of bad luck for marriages. And the hawthorn blossom for many men has the strong scent of female sexuality and was used by the Turks as an erotic symbol. Gotta love the Turks. The monks of Glastonbury perpetuated it and sanctified it with an approving tale that the staff of Joseph and the crown of thorns were made of hawthorn. So there's a lot of mysticism that crosses over into different beliefs with some of these magical elements and the types of wood that they use. Really fascinating stuff. Maple, not just for syrup. It's when the trees finally reach end of life and start dropping branches and deadfall in the forest. The wood is great for things like furniture. That's one commercial aspect to it, but it makes some of the most powerful, almost unbreakable wands and stabs that are out there. You make a cane out of a piece of maple, it'll last for 1,000 years. It's a really fine grain. That's where a lot of its strength comes from. A little different from a sugar maple. It doesn't have quite the high content of sugar in the sap that the sugar maple has. So it tends to be a much more concentrated form of energy. Let's see.
Before you go on, could you answer a question about the spirals that you cut in these wands?
Yeah.
do you go top to bottom or bottom to top? What do you think about the direction that you're making the spiral in?
Well, I do them a little different than most people. What I will do is I'll double cut in so you get the V that makes the deep impression of the spiral around the branch. But I will start at the tip and go down with the top cut, and then from the bottom I go opposite. I go back up, but underneath from the top cut. So I actually do both. I go and you get the positive and the negative both in one wand, doing it that way. There are tools where you can just hasp it around, just hold it a little bit of an angle and turn the wand and just cut the whole furrow in one shot all the way around. But I like the diametric the the opposed forces of going one direction then the other. Yes, like this one was carved the same thing. I started up here and carved out the top line. And then I came back up from down at the bottom here because it goes all the way to the bottom. Right there. And I went back up on the other side, and that's how I got the deep channel.
Yeah.
Um,
This,
oh,
this one, this is the cord that Spellcaster gave me on my name day when he took my measure.
mhm.
It's too long. The whole thing. I didn't know what to do with it. So he put it in a
Mhm.
spot.
Measured you twice.
Measured me twice.
But that's how you can zhuzh up your wands and stabs. You can use personal items like that. It's really good. But yeah, that's how I carve them. It's really dealer's choice with that. However you want to put the spiral on. I always like the idea of the positive and negative energy working together to achieve a balance. Um, but that's a me. However you choose to do it, everything is right and well and correct. I hope that answers your question. Let's see, where was? Oh yeah. And maple also brings success and abundance. So that's a good thing with that wand. Oak, which I happen to have right here. This is for casting spells around corners. It's the tree of Zeus, Jupiter, Hercules, the Dagda, who's the chief of the elder Irish gods, Thor, and all other thunder gods. And the royalty of the oak it doesn't really need any enlarging upon. Everybody knows oak is awesome. It's the tree of endurance and triumph. And like the ash, it is said to count the lightning's flash. I don't know if this really pertains, but the oak is a male wood, is ideal for the construction of tools that require male influence, such as athames, certain wands and staves. I don't think that translates well into modern times. I think oak is good for everybody. Gender doesn't play into it anymore. The midsummer fire is always oak, and the need fire is always kindled in an oak log. So when you start that fire, that has to stay all the time. It's always oak. It's used in spells for stamina, lust, and fertility. It's very popular during Beltane. Endurance, triumph, strength, power, dominion, and prosperity. It is a wood of sacrifice. It's another great one to carve things into and throw into the fire to carry your messages on. And it's a great guardian stick and a liberator of a lot of issues. Like I said, this one, as you can see by its shape, this is actually the root of a sapling that was in the front yard that did not survive the drought. So I was able to pull them out and save them. They're still very strong. That's oak. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up, being that we are based here in Florida. The palm, the noble palm tree. There are many different variations of palm. I like to use the branches from the fan palms that I have in the backyard. They're the ones with the big, like 4 foot wide green leaf with the real thick stalk on them. Um, they're particularly powerful because of their unbelievable durability. One of the few things that can handle a hurricane, shoo shoo, uh, and they're all about self-renewal. Um, it never changes its leaves. It just grows out new ones, and the old ones die and fall away, which when the trees get big enough, eventually becomes a habitat for bats. So if you have big palm trees, let them just have the branches hanging down. Bats like that. It also aids in rejuvenation. So if you're recovering from a surgery, um, doing braids of palm leaves and keeping them near you, it helps with the rejuvenation energy. I'm looking at you, Jen, because you have someone who needs all the rejuvenation they can get.
Got lots right now.
Yep. Their magical aspects are also about, it's all about resurrection with the palms because of the nature of how they grow. They can look like they're almost totally gone. They can lose their whole top knot in a storm. And if they got one little green frond sticking out the top, once again, the tree has its own wand. So it conjures itself back into existence. And it's all about the cycle and matrix of life with the palm tree. I talked about pine already. And let's see, the rowan tree. This is also seen as the tree of life, known as mountain ash or quickbeam. Um, the witch or witch's wand. I don't think I have an example of it here. No, none of this is rowan. Uh, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a moment. Has long been known to aid and to be an aid. It it can aid or remove enchantments. So it can protect you to get rid of an enchantment you don't want on you, or it can really reinforce an enchantment you're already trying, especially around like the openings of a home or the threshold of a new business or any kind of venture you're trying to get into. It's good to use this kind of wand to bless the building. Uh, it's protection against lightning. That's a British Isles. That's a big British Isles thing. For some reason, Rowans, they don't generate the static field that a lot of other trees do, so they just don't attract lightning. You put rowan trees around, you won't ever see something get hit with lightning. Uh, in ancient Ireland, the Druids of opposing forces, they would kindle a rowan fire and recite an incantation to bring in the spirits to have a battle. So rather than the two tribes decimating each other, they sent their spirit warriors and they used the rowan fire to summon them. So then they would sit down and talk after that. It's very smart people. Very good use of that type of wand and wood magic. It has many healing purposes. The quick beam is the tree of quickening. Uh, just speeds up everything that needs to happen. Uh, Another use, Rowans were especially good at divining metals. So if you were looking like for iron or a gold vein or copper, something about a Rowan branch is drawn to heavy metals. Um, Science has yet to explain this. They don't know why it is. It just is. That's great. A lot of people use Rowan to carve runes on, such as the Norse and Celts with their divination of the runes. That a lot of times they carved it on rowan wood, and when they were done with their spells, it would get thrown to the fire. Much as if you used a rowan wand like this to help affect someone who was ill, it would absorb the illness, and then you would feed that wand right into the fire. A lot of spades and crosses were placed over cattle and pens and homes for protection, much like the Bridget's cross, but these were made out of rowan. Um, It's one of the few trees that actually is so in tune with nature around it, it produces little red berries to feed the birds during the wintertime. It actually fruits during the winter. And the bee and the berries, everyone will love this. It has a tiny little pentagram on them. Oh, the way that it grows, little tiny pentagram, an ancient symbol of protection. Um, a lot of times the rowan wand can be used as a psychic enhancement, and it's used a lot in healing magic. Um, a lot of astral work and projection, and it controls the senses. Um, it keeps you from getting beguiled by the Fae while you're using this type of implement. Okay, and then white poplar. Moving on from rowan, now we go to white poplar. Uh, I had a piece of that. I don't remember where it went. Well, I almost exclusively now make my drums out of white poplar. It's a fantastic, renewable, easily, quickly grown tree. If you cut this tree right, the stump will resprout. That's what I love about it. Um, it's the tree of the autumn equinox. It's an old and old age. It shifts from poplar or aspen. That goes back and forth. As in a younger tree is a poplar, and then when it reaches a certain point, it shifts to being called an aspen. And it's a wonderful at stopping everything. It's a shield maker tree because it's incredibly strong. I make my drums out of it. Like I said, it's the sound since I've started using that wood is quite different than the original heavy pine I used to use. It's a much more melodious sound. Um, it is commonly referred to as the whispering or quivering tree because of the nature of the branches and how the trees grow together. When the wind blows through them, it actually sounds like voices. Um, Hercules bound his head in triumph with a poplar after killing the giant, the evil one, Cacus. He took an actual poplar tree and tied it around his head. Um, let's see. Read that part. The black poplar was a funeral tree sacred to Mother Earth. Um, doesn't really have a lot of other than that. It just black poplar was used in funerary rites. That was what that was used for. Plato. So this kind of stuff has been around a long time. Plato makes reference to the use of black poplar and silver fir as an aid in divination to reach out and smooth the way for the person who's crossing. Let's see. The silver fir, which is related to the poplar, it stands as the hope of the assurance of moving on. And the black poplar is for the loss of the person leaving this life behind and moving into the next. Um, a lot of times in ancient Ireland, coffin makers use black poplar a lot. That's what where it gets its that crossing over from. Um, and its magical aspects, if you make a wand out of it, this is another oak root, but it's close to looking like that. It is all about hope, rebirth, divination, shielding, and endurance, and an agility of speech and language. So it allows you to speak better. I think a lot of that goes to how the way we used to talk across the veil to open the way for the dearly departed, and it aids in astral projection. So much more concise words than what I said. Now moving on to the willow. I have not seen a willow tree in Florida. I know they're down here. I just don't know where one is, or otherwise I would have made a wand out of one by now. They're sacred to Hecate, Circe, Hera, and Persephone. And all of the death aspects of the triple moon goddess was often used by the witches in Greece. In the Western tradition, moving forward into the now times, it's a symbol of mourning and unlucky love, which I don't understand because you can make headache medicine out of it. You get aspirin from it, so it seems like it would eliminate that issue. But the Latin name for the weeping willow refers to how the Hebrews mourned their captivity in Babylon. It's a female symbol. The moon owns the willow, and it is the tree that loves water most and is sacred to the moon goddess. That's what it is. You will usually find willow trees right on the edge of a lake or a river, as they just love water. Sacred to the moon goddess. It's the giver of dew and moisture. If it's really super hot, and I have a little bit of a side story here, on our farmland up in Wisconsin in the summertime when it get 100 degrees, you'd step underneath that willow tree, it'd be 30 degrees cooler under there, under the boughs, because they went all the way to the ground. It was really nice. Okay. And the willow tree is a tree of enchantment, and it can made into a tool to fulfill wishes. So what you would do is you would write out what your wish is on the willow stick, and then leave it with the tree. And the tree will carry it because, like I said, being the connection between the earth, the air, and the water is very strong with the willow. So if you really want something to happen, find a willow tree, write what your intentions are on a branch or a wand, and stick it in the ground there, and the tree will do the rest. The yew tree. This should make a lot of people's ears perk up. This has long been associated with magic. Yew trees have been in every walk of history. Yew has shown up somewhere with magic. It's associated a lot with death, rebirth, and runes. They may be the oldest live trees in the world. Nothing outlasts a yew. Even the high mountain pines that grow in the Arizona desert. Those are 4,800 years old. There's yew trees that are thousands of years older than that. So they really know how to survive. The original world tree was a yew tree in the Scandinavian mythology. Sacred to Hecate in Greece and Italy. It makes wonderful bows. There's a great thing in England. They talk about being able to pluck their yew, which became something else entirely. Shush. We don't use that word. But yeah, it was renowned for bows. It makes excellent wands and magical tools, which the Romans learned it from the Greeks. And this strengthened the belief that the yew was connected with death, hence, because of the bow. In England, it was recalled in Macbeth, and when Hecate's cauldron contained slips of yew, silvered in the moon's eclipse. The silver fir of birth and the yew of death are sisters. They stand next to each other in the circle of the year, and their foliage is almost identical. That's interesting. In the magical aspects, it is, if you really want to put not too fine a point on it, if you make a yew wand and you really want somebody who has passed on to really just stay gone, you bury it with the coffin. It seals the way so that they cannot come back. And it a lot of ways it can be used to enhance magical and psychic abilities. That's why it makes a wonderful wand or a staff. And if brewed correctly, it can induce visions. Not recommended because it can become wildly toxic if not done properly. I can't even tell you how to do that. It's just something that came up in my research. But it's Because of that, it's not recommended to make like a spoon out of it because you don't want to put that in your food or stir anything hot with it. Okay. Now, poop poop poop. Bamboo. Our fan palm. Did I talk about palm trees already? Okay. Because I had a little thing about the particular fan palm that I have back there. They symbolize victory, peace, resilience, and abundance. They're used to sweep away negativity. That's what I love about it. It's like a built-in broom. You ever need a broom, just grab a palm frond. It helps manifest wealth. Its elements are air and fire. I bring up palm a lot because we're in Florida and they're absolutely everywhere. And there's deadfall from them all over the place. So it's very easy to find and use. They're quick and you can crumble them up and put them in a fire and it will not offend anything. It will actually be happy that it was burned up. They're good for breaking hexes. They're great for dream work. Much like the rejuvenation, you take a small fan palm, curl it up into a coil and hang it over your bed. It protects your dreams and keeps nightmares away. And that's it for palms. Bamboo. Another thing you can find a lot in Florida. Just have to know where to look for it. The costs, they kind of hide a little bit, but there's a lot of places where they will be happy if you come in and chop down some of it or pick up what fell over. It's all about resilience and flexibility with bamboo. If you make a wand out of it, you can almost bend it all the way in half, let it go, and it'll snap right back to straight. It's really strong stuff. It's great for hex breaking. Its element is exclusively air because of the nature of how it grows. It actually traps air within itself as it grows up. So if you ever drop a bamboo wand or staff in the water, you don't have to worry about losing it. It will float right on top of the water. It won't actually sink in. Its deities are Thoth, Ganesh, Kane. Those are the three that came up. And wishing sticks is very popular with a lot of cultures. You take a piece of the bamboo, you carve your wish into it. Say your prayer to whatever deity of your choice and then bury it in the earth. And in a secluded spot where nothing's going to disturb it. And they're also great for broom handles. That's a wonderful thing about bamboo. It can be functional and spiritual in the same bent. Like this ring stick, I believe, is a piece of bamboo that's been carved. Yeah, there's the ring. Yeah. See, wands come in all shapes and sizes. This one makes a really cool sound. Okay, and the last one about wood before I get into a little bit more, cedar. Purification, protection, and prosperity. You want stuff to come to you constantly and be good? Cedar is a wonderful thing. These are a couple of drumsticks I made, but this is a piece of the cedar heartwood. That's why it's dark like that. It doesn't have any of the white. This is right out of the center. Our friend Gypsy Teague made these. I added the drum. She made the wand. So they're really good. The cleansing aroma, if you find like you can get these little floorboard packs from most stores and you can shave off little bits of it and burn it. The aroma is very pleasing. It's really great for cleansing and drawing in spiritual energy to you. The deities that truly love the smell of it and it's associated with them are Artemis, Persephone, Enki, and the Celtic goddess, I'm hoping I say this right, Seza. It's Sezh. And its elements are earth and fire. And don't do anything where you ingest cedar. There are many different varieties of them, and all of them are wildly toxic if ingested. And I'm not talking about you will see in other dimensions. No, you will go to the ER. So don't eat the cedar, but you can burn it and inhale the smoke, not deeply, but allow the aroma to cleanse your mind. Okay. Now that we have an understanding of what all the woods are and their elemental connections, there's a lot of common uses for wands and stabs. Um, from the simplest, which is probably the most powerful thing on the table. Our good friend Moon brought this back. Amanda, wake up.
Sorry.
That's usually my job is to fall asleep. Um, I understand. Where did you get these from?
I got these on the reservation in Cherokee.
Okay, so yeah, it looks very simple. Of all the wands I have on this table and the ones that I own, this is probably has the most naturally innate power in it. And it's shaped like a knife for cutting and removing negativity. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you for that.
What is it?
Yeah, what kind of wood was that? I don't remember.
Where they have a sign for the wood.
No, I mean it looks like black oak, but
It's one of the trees up there. I do know that.
mhm.
It's from the same guy that does carvings in different
Okay, no, I know what this is. Now I know. Now I see the cross section. That's a birch sapling. Probably didn't survive the winter, so it was used to our good purpose. Very powerful stuff. Okay. There is a difference between a staff and a wand. Think of a wand as the oh, there's a better analogy. Oh, I'll get to that eventually. Sorry, I skipped. Starting over. Common uses for stabs and wands. Stabs are an amplifier. Be like this. A whole lot of male energy. They staghorn, cedar staff. I've had this since I was very young. It is mine. Whole lot of male energy in there. What's really neat about it is when I'm standing up, it just hooks like that and I can walk around with it. It doesn't even touch the ground. It's nice. Yeah, super back scratcher too. But that's an amplifier. I can put that on the ground and draw the energy straight up and into myself. A wand such as this, you have the amplifier, the wand is direct intent. I want that to happen. Bang. Right there. That's the difference. This is intent. This is the drawing of the energy. Put that out. Blow up. Yeah, I just mentioned that. Wands are used for precise spell work or misdirection. You see a wizard, a lot of depictions in films. You'll see them doing all this hocus pocus like this with the one hand with the wand in it, and the other hand is just reaching into a bag and pulling out something, doing poof. You never see what that right hand is doing because everybody's focusing on the bright energy coming out of the wand. It's a wonderful thing. They're used for delicate, precise work. You want to direct the energy for a specific task, and they are as unique and varied as the people who practice magic with them. They're for focusing intent and channeling of that direct energy. So if you find yourself needing something more to focus on, a wand is a good thing. Keeps your hands busy. And like I said, they're as unique and independent as anybody who uses them. And this one, it fits my hand perfectly. I like that. And you have some decorated up. This one's got metal and a big piece of white quartz on it, a leather handle, which this one has a leather handle because that is a bough from a rose bush. And you can see why I put a leather handle on it. That little guy right there. There's a bunch of them all the way down through here. Not necessarily the most comfortable thing to hold if you don't cover it up. But that has a lot of, I use that quite often, usually when doing the firework outside. So yeah, wands are for focusing intent and channeling of direct energy. And stabs, generally longer and heavier, but they don't always have to be a 6-foot beast like that. You can have something like this and consider that a stave, simply because of the size and weight to it. They usually have hidden meanings known only to the wielder. Sword canes are a perfect example of that. It looks like just a normal walking stick until it's not. Yeah, it's a lot of let's see, to the ordinary, but in the hands of a crone or sage becomes a powerful tool for protection, banishment, and stability. They walk softly and carry a big stick kind of a thing. The stability, I've used them myself a lot. Canes makes you very stable when your knees are not agreeing with you. So that's where that part comes from for me. Let's see. The staves also serve as an anchor, and it allows for the channeling, once again, through your body, through your intent, and through the wand of large amounts of direct energy straight out of the earth, from the air, from the sky, from whatever water source you're near. The stave draws it into you. The wand directs that energy. They can be used, and I just said it, they can be used in tandem. Like I said, the stave collects the energy into the person, and the wand brings an extreme focus of said energy into whatever it's focused on. You all right? You need a towel?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Once again, wands and staves are used in tandem. The staff collects the energy into the person, and the wand brings an extreme focus of said energy into whatever it's focused on. Think of the staff as overreaching as the entire sky, and the wand is the direct impact of a lightning bolt. So here you have big open hole, a lot of energy, and then in one spot. That's what the wand does. And now I have another page. Oh no, I read that page already. Okay. And that's all I have as far as words for describing the wands and the many purposes and uses of them. And now we come to part of the program where the people that are actually here can zhuzh up and design and make their own. So they have oh, that's one that Alba started.
Ooh.
Yeah. I carved her a crochet wand because she is the fiber magician. So she needed an accurate representation of that. And she zhuzhed it up real nice with these little these are little glass seed beads, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got them glued on there good. And once the glue dries, we're hoping, your fingers crossed, that it turns clear. But we'll add more beads to fill in some of the spaces. Then I'll hit it with clear coat and it'll be super shiny. It's actually quite comfortable too.
Which is
What a great idea.
Yep.
it matches my
Yes.
staff.
Yep.
Oh, I love that stuff. That
Nice.
fits you.
Like I
Alba.
said.
That is you, Alba. That is your staff.
Absolutely it is.
No question.
She's the only one I thought about when I was carving it the whole time, but she was in my mind.
Now, I decorating it with some sigils that I created from the elements and the symbols of the crochet stitches. Because I correspond the 4 basic 5 crochet stitches with the elements. So this is earth, the triangle with the line. This oval is the symbol for the chain stitch. If you're doing chart crochet, when you do that, this is water, and the X is the single crochet stitch, and then fire, and this T is the symbol for the half double crochet, and then this is air, and that is the symbol for the double crochet.
Mhm.
And then I drew a spiral, and then I put the symbol for the triple crochet on top of it. So I'm going to burn those into the staff. So crochet magic staff.
Excellent. Yes, that brings up another point I should, wands and staffs can also be gifted. Like, this one, I wish I could remember what Nick said this was. I thought it was a piece of hawthorn, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, this was gifted to us, and I will turn that into a thing because, as Alba pointed out, all of it looks like little faces. Like that's a bat. Over here is an owl.
Hmm.
That's a something. There's another face over here. You can see faces in it when you're right up. I don't know if the camera will catch it, but that's the most. That one looks like the owl the most to me. Okay.
I think you have to put it a little closer.
Yeah, lots of. Is that close enough?
Here, that angle.
Too shadowy. Let the light
Can
on
see,
it.
can
Alright.
see the faces, but can't really tell what they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be worked on a little bit.
It's just
That's
your
not-
imagination
Yeah.
that sees the different things in it, but there's so many faces. And you can see right through it in a
Yeah.
couple of places, so it's
Yeah,
a
it's a, oh, that's great. Oh,
It's
it's a
that's a
happy
great
stick.
face.
So that's gonna be something. And this is I got one more stick to show off. This is my dancing broom that we made. And this was the pepper
ficus.
ficus.
That was the original trees before they tore them down.
This is a piece of ficus, and it's a dancing broom because the stick comes all the way through to the end. See, it's here, so that it can tap on the floor without crushing the bristles, so that you can dance.
Mhm.
I put that to use.
Yeah.
Those are
I'm
my-
glad to know that. My first broom, it goes all the way to the floor, and that's the one I dance with, and so I didn't know it was a dancing broom.
That's a dancing broom.
Can also be used as a staff
Right. you can
because
use
it's
it as
very
a stick.
stable.
Yes, it's definitely yes.
All right. So now we are in the arts and crafts part. Anybody else have something they want to show off or? Yeah.
Let me look at some of the comments here.
Modern wand.
Amethyst feels we should get back to sending spirit warriors to do the dirty work in wars. And
Right.
Shine agrees. I
Right.
think
And
that's
the druids had a good
We
idea.
all agree on that.
Sit around the sacred fire, tell our ancestors, you guys fight, we're going to sit here and feast and talk.
And Shine loves working with willow. You got a lot of willow there in Texas? Making wands and things and doing magic.
Mm-hmm.
One of the great things about willow is when you take those wise and shove them in the ground, it will grow a tree.
Mhm.
You can actually grow a tree from that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And the people with bamboo in their yards, they love to share it because it can be invasive. It grows like a foot a day,
Yep,
so
you get the right type and it could take over your whole property.
you should be making everything out of bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We had some bamboo. We wound up getting rid of it.
It's too much. It's too much.
Mhm.
All right.
They
So,
make good instruments, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess this is a piece of bamboo that's been made into a rain stick.
I think you can make flutes.
You can make flutes. Our friend Spider makes awesome flutes with
Oh, wow.
I'm looking at the TV screen trying to talk to everybody. Yes, our friend Spider makes. Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
This is gonna be a stay away from me wand.
That's for when you got to send energy to a whole lot of different points all over.
No, that's an introvert.
That's a great
Third
one.
one.
An introvert. Like here, hold this for me. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, the bogey does make some really nice wands.
Yes,
And I did make them safe. The handles are all smoothed off.
right. You got a place to hold it.
Looking out.
You got a
Yeah.
place to hold it.
Yep.
Then bam, bam, bam.
Ooh.
Sorry.
I was gonna say that's both a wand and a weapon.
Right. But you
Mhm.
know, that could mean protection too.
Yes.
You know, to use this to send out protection.
Yep.
I know I got all these
Mhm.
pretty sparkles stuff, but these are wands all by themselves, right? Nature makes the best wands.
It does. Like I said, when
We
we
actually have one from Wilma.
Mhm.
Mm.
She totally stripped all the bark and
You
smoothed it
guys
down.
are
Wow.
And I'm like,
blessed with
okay.
being gifted
Then it just, was like right
with
there.
all these.
That's where this one, we were at FPG a couple of years ago and I was looking for drumsticks and stuff to make sistrums out of. And this just fell out of the tree right in front of me and went boink right in the ground. Okay, that's mine.
Yeah.
Debbie, were you saying something?
Mhm.
Sorry.
That's thank you.
I was saying that you are lucky to be so gifted with so many different of the pieces of the wood, different woods, because down here really have, it's limited, pine, oak, palm, and then anything else is mostly up north.
Yeah, you gotta get it when you're traveling or at the hardware store. You could buy
Yeah.
poplar and maple and different woods. You can buy
Birch sticks.
birch sticks.
Yeah. We found them sometimes at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dollar Tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They sell it for decoration. But you can make rooms out of them.
For
Yeah,
what?
they have no idea what they have when they get those bundles. And I buy the whole thing when I see them.
Yeah, they sell the sticks for decorations in the floral section.
Mhm.
You can get a lot of sticks.
Floral.
Yeah, in the
Ah.
floral section
Mhm.
of the craft store.
Yeah, usually in fall, they bring out all these just bundles of sticks.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you never know what you're gonna find in there.
Yeah.
I like to find them on the beach when
Yeah.
I go out
Oh,
west.
another thing popped into my head. You can combine elements as well. So this has leather and there's a piece of sea grape tied underneath there somewhere. And it's got copper. It's like I said before, there's a big white piece of selenite. And then that is a rose thorn branch. So you can combine things to make a nice tool as well. But as Alba pointed out, nature does make the best wands. Some of this stuff, yeah,
It's interesting.
exactly. It's quite unique,
Wow.
That's
Very.
beautiful all by itself.
right? You can hold it either way.
Nothing needs to be done. It's beautiful.
Nope. I'll maybe carve your initials in the bottom right here.
Smooth it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Refinish it, but
Mhm.
don't change it.
I guess I'm gonna end it with this. Anytime somebody wants to swing by, you too, Shine. You want to swing by the house? We got wands and stabs for you, and a place to sleep and food. Just swing by South Florida sometime.
Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
Great job.
Mhm.
You.
I will stop the recording.
Good job, Carl.
Thank you.